Hi everyone, good afternoon. Hey, welcome to Live with Faith and Harmony. All right, thank you so much for our viewers. Okay, for those who are watching live, please drop by in the comment section by saying hi, hello, and where are you from? Okay, please keep your comments coming. And for those who will watch for replay, please type in the comment hashtag replay. And if you have any questions, please also don't hesitate na i-type yan sa comment section and we'll answer that later. Okay. Now, I'm excited for today's show because since last time we've discussed about Facebook, kumbaga another platform where we can share our ideas, our contents. There you go. And before that, I'd like to say hi for those who are watching. Hi, Joel. Hi, Rocky. And hi, Marga. Okay. Okay. Now, as I was saying, we discussed Facebook last time. And now, may other way pa pala para we can share our ideas, our contents. If ever na ayaw mo magpakita sa video, ayaw mo ng picture, there is another way. And now that's what we will discover for today. But before I forget, anyway, I'm Faith. I'm your host for today. So now I am very, very excited to share this topic with you. I've invited someone. She is one of the co-creators and what you call this, the host of Mad in Manila podcast. The top 10 comedy podcast in the Philippines on Spotify. Okay, now there you go. Let's now welcome here with me Marga Sayo. Yay!
Hi, Faith. Hi, Faith. Hello,
Hello
everyone.
Marga. Hello
Uh,
Marga, kamusta? How's your quarantine life? Quarantine
okay
life.
naman, we are surviving and I think the quarantine has really helped us to set up our own stations at home. So, comfy naman in terms of doing this interview. And hello sa mga nanonood. Hi, friends. Nakikihay na talaga ako. Kamusta kayo dyan sa Pilipinas?
Parang nasa States tayo ah.
Oo, sana.
Anyway, thank you so much, Marga, for being with me. Our top, okay, now, pang ano na to, this is our sixth episode, the sixth episode of
Mm,
Faith and Harmony, and where we'll be discussing Podcast 101, how to start a podcast. Since ikaw, nasa podcasting world ka na, I
yes.
will discuss more about it. So, but before that, I'd like to know, tell us more who is Marga Sayo.
Sure. My gosh. Parang sharing slam book ba ito? Pero hello sa mga nanonood sa live ni Faith. My name is Marga. Faith and I actually work at uh, at one of our money-making ways. Magkasama kami ni Faith. My career talaga is I'm part of training. So I do corporate training, I do leadership training. I'm also a licensed nurse, but I was never able to practice. And then more about me, I'm in my 30s, I'm 32. Um, and I have a dog named Sherlock and Lola, dalawa na sila. And so far, I think we're surviving the pandemic. Hindi ako nagka-COVID and I'm praying na never na and sana matapos na. And I'm basically excited to reach more people in terms of how podcasting works because for us, Mad in Manila, the podcast happened before the pandemic. So we were not a pandemic podcast. And basically, doing this podcast has been a big part of my quarantine life. Siguro kung hindi ako nagpa-podcast in the last year and a half na, baka siguro nabaliw na ako matagal na. That's one thing. Kaya nga, ayun, I'm happy to share what you guys want to know about podcasting today. Uy, si Rev! Hello! Friend ko si Rev, nanonood siya.
Wow! Hi, Rev. Thank you for tuning in.
Shout out to yung friend ko si Rev.
Oh, yan. So our yes, Marganda is here na. Okay, so thank you for that. So ano no, hindi pre-pandemic the podcast that you've created nag-exist na
Right.
pala. So ano, how many years na ba
So
you're doing the podcast?
since January, my gosh, Matt, a year and 4 months since we started. But actually, the start of Mad in Manila, when we first started it, I'm co-hosting it with a friend whose name is Bullet. So we both created Mad in Manila. That brand or that page has been around since 2018. Bullet and I worked
Mm,
together sa last company namin. Tapos, talagang mahilig kaming pumunta sa mga events, mahilig kaming pumunta sa concerts, sa mga place, kumain sa iba't ibang place. So sabi namin, why not create like a lifestyle page, not a brand, a lifestyle page where we could share kung eto naman pinupuntahan talaga natin tong mga places na to, might as well share it on Instagram. And we were writing about it, blogging about our TV shows that we were watching. Tapos, since 2018, iniisip na namin gumawa ng podcast. Iniisip na namin siyang gawin. Pero we were both very busy, and I think at that time, nung 2018, we weren't ready for it yet. Hindi pa kami ready nun. Kaya sabi namin, nung 2019, okay, eto na talaga. 2020 will be our year for podcasting. Yun pala, it is our year for podcasting. Pero it's the year for COVID. So, kumbaga nagsabay sila. But it's been an amazing experience dahil who knew that we could do this at home? Akalain mo dapat
mm.
professional setup lagi lahat. Pero now, people have been very creative on how to get their content out there. So, exciting siya. We're still learning how to do it. Pero maganda yung naging experience.
Wow. So, I'd love to hear that. Okay, since na-mention mo na yung start ng podcast. So,
Yes.
kindly introduce to us ano nga ba yung Mad in Manila? What's in it? Ano yung
Right.
sinasabi? Ano yung topics nyo and so forth.
Right. So, our podcast is a comedy current affairs podcast. So, siguro hindi nyo maiisip, bakit namin ipagmimix ang comedy at saka news? Well, in fact, we did that because we realized in the last year na sobrang daming taong hindi aware na kung ano yung nangyayari sa mundo. And a lot of people have been stressed when it comes to the news. So sabi
Mhm.
namin ni Odette, when we initially started Mad in Manila, we were just doing topics suggested to us. Pero when we started talking about the news and we delivered it in our own way na medyo may comedy twist, na medyo baklaan twist talaga, sobrang nag-enjoy yung mga nakikinig sa amin.
Mm.
And we've been doing it, and until now, people are enjoying it. So, ang maganda doon, people have been messaging us, alam mo, sa inyo na lang talaga ako nakikinig ng news. Wala nang iba. Kasi as much as possible, when we pick the news, we pick the most, I think, relevant to us at the time. Yung mga kuning sikat sa internet, sikat
Oo.
or malaking impact sa atin sa mga Pinoy, yun yung pinipili namin. Uh, and it's a good way to get the news out there without stressing people out, at least.
Okay,
Ayun.
so you said news. So ano ba 'to?
Yeah.
Do you upload ano ba yung most parang updated news ba? Yung
Yes.
trending, yun ba yung kinukuha niyo? Okay. And kasi
When you
news,
say
so
when you say trending, it means that it has to be something that happened within the last week. Normally we
Okay.
record on a Wednesday. So like yesterday, we recorded on a Wednesday. So we choose a piece of news that happened probably Monday, Sunday. Yun lang. Sobrang bilis nung turnover nung pag-research namin. Kasi kailangan ko ano yung nangyari ngayon. Kaya, ganun namin siya ginagawa. Mabilisan.
Okay. So ano, medyo ano 'to, medyo actually bago sa akin din. Though, I mean 2018 alam ko na yung ano, sorry
Yeah.
umuulan. Parang feeling ko
Okay
narinig
lang.
niyo yung ulan.
Hindi naman.
Anyway,
Siguro hindi.
ayan.
Natural. Ganyan po talaga pag work from home ang setup. Di ba?
Ganito po
Maririnig
talaga
ko.
'pag hindi pa upgraded yung mga devices natin.
Uh, okay lang yan.
Anyway, ayun, so 'di ba ano nga, kasi usually ang alam kasi ng mga tao, when you say podcast lagi ano, I mean before music. talagang it evolve na rin na even
Yes.
news nandun na. Actually medyo bago sa akin yung news kasi ang lagi kong after music ang pagkakaalam ko is yung mga motivational
Right.
speeches, 'di ba? Tapos parang and then na ngayon may mga ganito na pala. So
Yes.
imagine, so you're saying na out of your parang ano ba to, hobbies ba or parang trying to make something fun, dun nag-start si Mad in Manila?
Yeah. I wouldn't say na hobby siya. Kumbaga
Oo.
naging outlet siya. Outlet siya ng kadaldalan namin ni Bullet. So, naging outlet talaga siya. And it's something that para dun sa mga nakikinig, even for Faith, no? Yun nga, isipin mo na ako din dati ang mga podcast na pinakikinggan ko lang are storytelling kasi pampatulog ko siya. Pero nung I started getting into Philippine podcasting, ang dami-daming Pinoy na sobrang galing sa pag-create ng sarili nilang content. And nag-iiba na rin kasi ang demand ng mga tao. Before, nobody took notice of podcasting in the Philippines. In fact, late na tayo. Sa US, ang tagal na niyan. Early 2000s pa lang meron na yung podcasting. Matagal na sa kanila. Pero recently lang, especially in the last year, biglang bumongga ang pagpa-podcast. So, it's not a new platform, but it's a platform na finally Filipinos took notice of. So ang suggestion ko for those who are watching right now, besides following us sa Madin Manila, wag niyo kaming kalimutan. Wag niyo akong kalimutan. Tingnan niyo din kung ano na rin ang ginagawa ng mga fellow Pinoys natin. Sobrang dami. There are people who also do comedy. There are people who talk about crimes in the Philippines, parang mga crime stories. Kung kayo ay kapareho ko na mahilig manood ng mga crime story, marami din dyan. Marami pa, as in romance, talking about teaching in the Philippines. So, napakarami. Halos napaka-limitless nung platform. Ganun siya.
Grabe, nag-boom talaga siya since lahat tayo
Yes,
last year nag-stay at ay nag-ano talaga, stay at home. And
yes,
outlet, okay. So aside from Facebook, syempre Facebook you have to show yourself, your face, even videos. Ito namang podcast is another way for you to express yourself kung madaldal ka and you don't want to show your face, 'di ba?
yes.
So
Don't,
we'll dig
yeah,
into that.
yes.
So
Don't get
ayan,
us wrong.
sakto na.
Hindi naman kami sobrang hiyang-hiya pakita yung mga mukha namin. It's just
Oo.
the way we do things really work on a non-visual platform lang. Pero sometimes we do it naman. Either way, whatever floats your boat to it. O sige, Faith, sorry, ininterrupt kita. Ano yung question mo?
Hindi, that's okay. So, hindi kasi yung iba kasi syempre parang actually podcast is another na rin advantage for those who don't want to show their faces. 'Di ba?
Yeah.
Parang yung actually I mean this is not to this to parang
Oh,
include
ano?
something, 'di ba? Pero
Ano?
siyempre yung mga introvert kasi I believe they are very good. Yung mga ideas nila nakukulong lang sa isip nila and sometimes they do more of writing and yun nga, pwede naman
Mm.
silang dumaldal.
Dumal.
So, this is another platform for you guys to consider. So,
Right.
ngayon we'll dig into the topic na. So, for those who are not familiar, what is podcast?
Okay,
Thing.
simple lang naman to guys. So what is podcasting? Basically, what is a podcast? So it's an audio platform that is normally streamed on an on-demand platform like Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast. So para lang siyang radyo na nilipat mo lang sa bagong medium. And podcasting means that you are creating content on a on an audio platform din. Kumbaga, kung ikaw ay pangarap mong maging radio DJ dati, di ba? So ito na yon. This is the time to do it. And it's again, like I mentioned before, it's been around for years. Lately lang, especially in the last year, at saka siya nag-boom. Pansinin nyo guys, ang dami na rin mga sikat na artista, mga beauty queens, mga sikat na vloggers, sila din nasa podcasting na kasi na-realize nila na there is now a demand for it. Diba? So, that's simply what podcasting is.
Okay, so that's the basic part. Pero I'll try to naman incorporate yung technical part na parang
Yes,
how
go.
you do that. Yung lang basic technical part na if someone would start a podcast lang, parang ano ba yung platform are they going to use?
Mm-hmm.
So, go ahead.
Okay, so if you're going to start a podcast, I think later we're gonna talk about
Ah,
why should you do it. But the basic elements of a podcast is of course first you start with your equipment. You need to have a device that can take a recording. If you have a partner, you need to find a platform where you can record. So, basically, kung kayo ay may cellphone, internet, at headset na matino, you can go do it. Actually, for us in Madden Manila, we've tried so many things in the last year and a half in creating our content. Alam nyo yung mga naka-iPhone and iPhone na headset, that's still the perfect device for us. We still go
Mm-hmm.
back to that time and again because it has the noise canceling, and pulido yung tunog niya. Right now, I'm not using an iPhone headset, since we're using a PC to do it, to do this. But for recording, as long as you have a decent headset, internet connection, and a mobile phone where you can do the recording, that's fine. If you're going to co-host like what I do with Bullet, you can use
Mm-hmm.
something like this. Kung anong ginagamit ni Faith, it's StreamYard. StreamYard is one of the platforms that a lot of podcasters use. For us, we use Zoom. Napakasimple lang. Zoom lang. We record the meeting, and then we upload it. And what we use as a platform is Anchor. So Anchor, Anchor. Kaya yun ang ginagamit namin because it's one of the easiest ones to use. Tapos, ang maganda kay Anchor is when you upload your episodes, sila na rin ang magpo-post para sa'yo sa Spotify, sa Google Podcast, Apple Podcast. When Anchor sees that your episodes are doing better, ilalabas ka
Mm-hmm.
na rin nila sa iba't ibang platform. Iba pang platforms na hindi natin kilala. So kami, ang dami-dami nang nilalabasan ng Madin Manila. Pero yung three na yon, yun yung main na pinakikinggan ng mga kamins namin, what we call our listeners. So that's where you start.
Mm-hmm.
The content,
Oh.
pag lumabas na sa questions mo.
So ano pala, you were saying na yung Anchor kasi, yun yung platform. Pero ikaw ba yung mamimili nung ano, kung saan siya i-upload? Kung saan i-upload yung recordings? Like, Spotify, saan pa ba?
Wala.
Hindi, parang
Default
si Anchor na bahala.
yes, si Anchor na
Siya
bahala.
na.
Yes.
Okay.
Default ang Spotify kasi Spotify actually bought Anchor. I think it was last year. So binili siya
Oh.
ni Spotify. So ngayon, lahat na talaga ng nakikreate sa Anchor lumalabas sa Spotify.
So guys,
Yan.
sana na-pick up nyo. Yung device lang na kailangan is matinong, matino talaga eh.
Yung
Matinong
puno.
headset,
Yes, yes.
specifically noise cancellation na headset. Tas even para iPhone will do na, no? May brand pa
Yes.
ng phone. So baka naman dyan, Apple.
Hindi kami
Ayun.
lang. Kasi yun yung
Ah, na-notice
napansin
nyo?
namin na maganda eh. Yung iPhone talaga.
Mm.
Talagang kami, ginawa na namin yung naka-mic kami, ganon. Eh, ang
Oo.
issue kasi is when you're using a microphone, like a professional microphone, which I have here, and then everything else is set up. Kung hindi rin maganda yung setup ng kwarto mo, you don't have noise canceling, yung eggshell, yung carton. Basta yun,
Okay, okay.
kung wala ka nun, medyo nade-destroy din yung, nakikita mo rin, naririnig mo yung ambient noise compared kay iPhone. Pero again, walang problema mag-Android. Basta i-check nyo yung quality.
Oo, yun naman, quality naman, yes. Quality,
Oo.
quality guys. So yun nga. So ang easy peasy lang naman pala mag-start. I mean, yung device kasi
Technical
akala
side, yes.
natin when starting ano kailangan yung professional na agad na mic. Pero see 'di ba Madden Manila started with the use of iPhone,
iPhone,
yung iPhone na ano headset. I mean, ayun, ano ba Apple headset kasi brand eh. Napaisip din ako.
Apple, yes.
Yun,
Yun lang yung gamit
oo.
namin.
So for those who are watching, if you have any questions, start pa lang 'to ng topic natin, medyo painit-initin na natin. 'Yan, for
Yes.
if you have any questions later on, please, put it in the comment section. Marga will answer that later.
Grabe.
Okay. Yan. Hi, Shane. Thank you also for tuning in. Anyway, let's go na. Eto na. Inaabangan ng mga tao. Kasi podcast, so why does someone, o bakit nga ba? Yan. Why does someone have to create a podcast?
Um, Eto medyo magiging controversial yung answer ko dito. Why
Abangan ko.
I would say na it's very easy to start a podcast. Technically, 'di ba na-explain ko na napakadali niya. But you know what? I
Mm.
truly believe that just because everyone has access to it doesn't mean everyone should create one. That would be
Mm.
my answer. So bakit? It's because uh, there's a lot of work, a lot of work goes into creating content. Even this show that you're doing, Faith, a lot of effort goes into this. And ang akala ng mga tao, porket nakakapag-record ka, akala nila they're worthy of being listened to. A lot of people do that na in the podcasting community, guys, sobrang supportive ng podcasting community. You can follow pages like Podcast PH, Pipe Network, which is the network that Mad in Manila is part of, and marami pa. So, kumbaga, when someone asks a question, how to start, napakaraming tutulong sa'yo. Pero ikaw din, as an actual creator, you also have to decide and to figure out, is my content worthy of being listened to? Yun yung una mong dapat isipin. Kasi if you're just going to upload and then ang sasabihin mong description ng podcast mo is, this is just a podcast of me just talking about random shiz, random topics. Sorry, hindi ako magmumura, baka bawal magmura dito. Sa amin sa podcast namin pwede. Random topics and I'm just going to talk for the next 60 minutes about something random. Wala kang mabibigay na value dun sa nakikinig sa'yo. So why should people listen to you? And most of the podcasts are uh, are forms of media na piniplay mo lang sa background. Maraming listeners na pag nagda-drive lang sila, doon lang sila nakikinig, 'di ba? Marami pag nagluluto,
Naglilinis. Oo.
naglilinis, nagwo-workout. I have relatives and minsan nagugulat ako pag isesenda nila ako ng video, naglilinis sila ng bahay or nagluluto sila tapos nagpe-play yung podcast namin habang nagluluto sila. Ganon. So you have to think na even if I'm being played in the background, does it give value to the person who's listening? Kung feeling mong hindi, then it's either you work on it a bit more or maybe the world isn't ready for it yet. Ganun na ako kadiretso magsalita about it.
That's
Para sa akin,
fine.
may sense. May sense yung ilalabas natin sa mundo, di ba? Yun.
So, yun naman talaga. I mean,
Yeah.
even if like ngayon, yung content ko naman, so alam mo yan, the journey of faith and harmony, I mean, even if
Yes.
I started being a financial advisor or, you know, a money coach, ano, nag-start ako 2018, I think. Tapos
Yes.
nag-flourish lang talaga yung page ko. Nag-boom lang talaga siya ng
Yes.
2020. 2020,
Yes.
oo. Kasi yun nga, you have to study. And syempre, yun nga, as what Marga said, kailangan may value. Again, guys, value for people, not value for yourself. Kumbaga,
Yes.
secondary ka eh. Secondary ka lagi. Kasi if you
Yes.
want, syempre, na maging trending din naman yung nilalabas mo. Hindi lang basta trending na, ay, gusto ko to. Eh, paano yun na yung
Mm.
target audience mo? Ano naman, how are you going to reach them out? Parang katulad lang actually talaga to sa radio. This is just
Yes.
siguro sabihin natin we should say na ang podcast is ano na, digital radio. Kasi siyempre wala na yung analog eh. We're
Yes.
transitioning na eh.
As in ano, sa interwebs talaga siya nape-play. So it's radio that's been brought to the interwebs, the internet. Yun na talaga siya. It's a digital recording. And it's available for download. It's available for download on your PC or your mobile device. Ganun na siya kadali. Kasi before pag radyo, hindi mo na maabutan eh. Kasi may
Oo.
certain time slot sila. Ito,
Oo.
it becomes available for whenever you are available to listen to it. So that's the convenience of it.
So ano din, parang puwede ring aside sa value that you are saying, puwede ring na if someone would start, puwede ring they would consider kung wala pa silang topic talaga and thinking of content. Naisip ko lang, kailangan din yung content mo evergreen. Yung 'di ba, parang even if parang matagal na panahon na na nila I mean, kunyari yung content matagal na nilang panahon na puwedeng mapakinggan, parang it's still maga-relevant talaga siya. Hindi lang
Mm.
yung kumbaga for a certain period of time lang siya magiging relevant. So,
Yeah.
ayan, let's dig into that. Ayan na, eto na po ang painit na topic. Eto
Ako na
na.
nakapasok.
Ayan,
Oh my
eto
God.
alam ko most of the people who are listening right now would want to hear from Marga Sayo tips on how to create or start a podcast. Medyo madami-dami 'to.
Oo.
Go
Besides the
ahead.
technical part na napag-usapan na natin kanina and your willingness kung gagawin mo 'to o hindi or alam mo 'yun, mag-aaral ka on how to do it. You also have to decide kung paano mo siya ila-launch. Would you be a solo podcaster? Is it something that's hosted by two people or more than two people? Is it an ensemble podcast? Marami talaga siyang planning. I remember when Bullet and I were talking about starting the podcast, sobrang dami naming meetings na pinag-uusapan namin, ano pag-uusapan natin, ano yung mga topics na hindi natin pwedeng i-mention, ay yung, ano yung mga segments natin na gagawin. Parang talagang radyo talaga siya because Bullet and I are fans of a lot of radio DJs. We listen to the Morning Rush. I listen to a lot of Boys Night Out. Marami pa sa local. So, kami din, we also studied na how do you keep your audience entertained. So, may mga ganun kami. And everything has to be planned out, 'di ba?
Mm.
Whenever you're planning an episode, ikaw din mismo iisipin mo, kung ako yung makikinig, ano yung magpapastick sa akin to continue listening, 'di ba? Sa
Mm.
akin ang na-realize namin was that the news that we delivered kept people listening. Ironically, kahit na ayaw nang makinig ng tao sa news, pero dun sila kumakapit.
Oo.
Tapos we started, and how do you keep your audience engaged? Kaya kami sa Madin Manila, we have questions of the week, and then people can send in their entries, tas i-read namin siya on air. Well, not really on air, but on the recording. Tapos, we have people who send us stories na parang mala MMK, parang ganon. Tapos, we read it. We read it.
Mm.
Ganun yung ginagawa namin. So, a lot of planning has to go into it. You need to have an outline when you do a recording. Hindi pwedeng basta ikaw ay random na nagsasalita. Parang ito,
Mm.
yung platform natin or this interview that we're doing, you have an outline of what questions you need to ask me. So, ganun din dapat. Hindi
Mm.
pwedeng bara-bara. At it's up to you if you want to do a script or not. Mad in Manila is not scripted. Yung news lang ang talaga ang pinaka-scripted part, pero the rest is impromptu.
Mm.
So, kayo din, magde-decide din kayo on how you want to figure that out.
Okay, so planning pa lang 'yan, ah. I mean
Planning pa
guys,
lang siya.
planning pa lang 'yan. So
Wala
magtatanong
pa
muna
yun
ako ng
for you.
konti sa planning. Okay lang
Oo,
may mahaba pa yung time. So with planning, kasi, not everyone are ones like you na merong tandem. Pero yung akin lang, yung duration no with planning, how long? How long would it take for you to publish a single episode? Going back dun sa when you started, dun muna tayo sa
yeah,
when you started.
right.
Gano'n. How
when
long? How
we
long?
when we first started having meetings about it, I think we had a couple of meetings to decide the topics, to decide the taboo topics, ano yung mga hindi namin pwede i-mention ever,
Mm.
um, ano yung mga probable na episodes namin, na upcoming episodes namin. I think it took us 2 weeks before we actually started recording. We
Oh.
did our first recording in the last week of January. Tapos, the whole time before we got to that, we were planning and we were talking about it. Pero kasi ang Mad in Manila, sabi ko nga, when we record on a Wednesday and the news that we get is from the last couple of days, when we record on a Wednesday, labas na yan agad ng the day after. Ganun kami kabilis.
Hmm.
Mad in Manila is not edited at all. Siguro
Yeah.
yung front end lang, kung meron kaming dead air sa umpisa at saka sa dulo. Pero the rest,
Oo.
it's unedited. Ganun kami. If you talk to other podcasters, some of them have different methods of doing it. Others really edit. Ini-edit nila
Mm.
yung noise, ini-edit nila yung sound quality, ini-edit nila yung i-insert ng mga sounds. Kami hindi.
Oo, kahit
Parang,
nga yung tawa mo rinig na rinig ko gano'n, kung
oo,
gaano ka ba.
oo, plug and play lang ang Mad in Manila because that's how we are. We want people to know us as we are, kung paano kami
Correct.
magsalita, how we make jokes, how we make fun of each other. Ganun lang siya. That's our process. It doesn't work for a lot of people. Kaya normally pag kausap namin yung mga nakilala na naming friends sa podcasting community, ang Mad in Manila, sanay yan na mabilisan ang labas ng episode niyan. Kasi nga, news kami. Hindi kami pwedeng malate. News kami. Hindi pwedeng i-release namin yung episode next week pa. Eh, by that time, panis na yung news. So, mabilisan ang labas ng
Mm.
episode.
So eto, since news kasi ang Mad in Manila, kailangan ano sila, per week yung episodes niyo 'no? Per week,
Yes, per week
correct?
kami.
Per week.
Yes. We
Mm.
do take breaks after 12 episodes. So, para kami may mga
Oh.
season after 12
How long
episodes.
how long yung season break na I mean yung how long yung season break niyo?
It can be from
1 week?
it can be from 2 weeks to a month. yung break namin.
Oh, oo,
Yes.
okey.
Kailangan 'yan.
Nice.
Pero during the time naman na naka-break kami, usually diyan lumalabas na yung magge-guest kami, makikipag-collab kami sa ibang podcast. So, okey lang din naman, we still get to be out there kahit na hindi siya Made in Manila, the podcast.
Actually planning planning pa lang 'to, parang ang dami pa nating hihimayin. Pero for those who would like to start, actually crucial part yung planning, eh. Imagine them
Yes.
when they started 2 weeks the preparation before
And
launching the first, episode,
yes.
you call it?
And remember, we've been talking about podcasting since 2018. We just got the courage to actually do it in 2020. Kasi talagang kinailangan, gusto mo siya, and kailangan kaya mo siyang i-sustain. And it's not an easy platform din, guys. Not everyone gets a lot of listens. And kami, even though we get to be on the charts for Spotify, sobrang tough din ng competition, lalo na yung mga category ng comedy,
Mm.
relationship and love, yung mga
Oh,
ganyang, yan yung mga category na sobrang bigat ng competition. So the fact that we're
mm.
even seen when you open the comedy page on Spotify, that's a huge deal for us.
Mm. Okay. So, after planning, Marga, okay,
Mm.
na-launch mo ano na tayo, let's go on
Magre-record
sa ano
tayo.
na, oo, magre-record
Magre-record
na
tayo.
kayo. Kasi you
Okay.
said you have the script, yung ano na, what do you call this, parts? Parts nung ano na, nung
Segments, yes.
ay, segment, okay.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Okay, before you start, you and your partner or ikaw mismo, you have to follow a schedule. If you have multiple hosts, kailangan kayo, magaling kayo on meeting the schedule. Hindi pwedeng magpaka-late lagi, hindi pwede lalo na kung marami kayo kasi ang hirap kayong pagsabay-sabayin. So respect each other's time. That's the most important thing. Be in your meetings on time, yung recording sessions nyo on time or be a bit earlier. What else? Make sure na kayo, well-rested kayo. Make sure na nakakain kayo. So normally ako, pag Madden Manila, we record at night. So nagdi-dinner na ako early on para pagdating ng recording, hindi na ako masyadong didighay. Mangyayari yan, guys, kasi salita ka na salita. So didighay ka talaga. So kailangan na-digest na yung food bago kayo mag-recording. Drink a lot of
Okay.
water. Tapos chika muna kayo, medyo rapport muna kayo nung kapartner mo para medyo you get into the zone na. Tapos you simply record. If you want to do a script of your intro, walang problema. Para lang you get the ball rolling, 'di ba?
Sample nga ng intro.
Yung intro, sabihin ko sana makinig na lang kayo sa Madin Manila, no? Pero since nandito tayo para matuto. So kami normally si Bullet parang lagi kaming gulat na yung mode namin is kunyari parang gulat na, "Uy, andiyan na pala kayo mga kamim. Welcome sa Mad in Manila. Pasok kayo dito, mainit diyan." Ganon pa kami. Tapos sasabihin na namin, "Oh, maraming maraming salamat sa pagdayo sa kanto ng pinakamaingay na comedy current affairs podcast sa balat ng lupa. Welcome to Mad in Manila." Ganon. Tapos tuloy-tuloy na kami.
Okay.
Yes,
Yan.
ganun
So,
kami.
importante yan,
Yes. Yung kung paano
Ano
kayo
yan,
magsimula.
scripted? Scripted, I
Yung
mean ano, yung intro? How do you say,
um,
scripted ba or parang may
parang,
something na
parang
plan?
parang may guides na kami talaga, may guide.
Ah,
Kasi ang
mm.
issue sa'min dalawa ni Bullet, even if you give us a script to read, we will still paraphrase that kahit gaano mo sabihin sa'min na, "Basahin mo 'yan." We really don't. Natural na talaga sa'min na especially 'pag may napansin kami na may spelling error, may grammar error, mabilis kami mag-paraphrase. So,
Okey.
we never really read scripts as is. If we do, edi okay. Tsaka mas nabubulol kami 'pag super
May script.
scripted. Oo, gano'n kami. Pero for others, scripts work really well, lalo na kung if you're a podcast that tells a story, kunyari yung mga crime podcast, yung mga ghost stories na podcast, my gosh. I'm not sure if they do scripts, but I think they do kasi they tell a story, eh. So, para
Mm,
maayos, kailangan scripted ka.
Tsaka ano,
Ayun.
rehearse din yung voice,
Oo, warm
most
up kayo.
likely.
Oo,
So, may warm up
warm
kayo? Ano 'to, ano, voice lesson, gano'n?
wala kaming warm up,
O
nagchichika lang
talagang
kami.
natural na?
Magtsitsismis muna
Hmm,
kami beforehand, siguro mga 15 minutes before the actual recording. Chismax muna ng konti para medyo ma-comfy. Tas 'pag game na, "Ano Kitty girl, game na." Game, tas record, gano'n na.
hmm.
Oo.
Okey. So, ayan, may ano na, I mean, makukumpleto na natin. We have the intro, the
Mm,
main segment, and then ano na, yung last sa outro. So, outro, how do you call it? Tama ba?
yeah. Outro or how you end it.
Or
Uh,
end.
yes.
Yeah.
Um, one of the things that you have to also plan is, let's say you're part of a network or you're part of a sponsorship deal. Like sa amin, we're part of a network. It means that we have ad breaks. Meron kaming mga dapat ilabas na mga ads. May pinopromote kaming either, let's say, cookies, kape, nagpo-promote kami ng mga vacation spots. May ganun eh because we have deals with sponsors about that. Or sometimes merong mga iba na may Lazada or Shopee deals. Meron din yan.
Oh.
So, yun yung mga ipaplan mo. Kung meron kang mga ganon, you have to plan it within the episode. And may mga ano yan, may mga contract rules yan. Let's say if you have a contract with a client, let's say sample online shopping platform, kailangan mo yan ma-deliver yung ad nila within the first 20 minutes of your podcast. So, ipaplan mo yung segment mo doon. Kunyari sa amin, here's a little something from our friends from the Pipe Network. So, alam namin tapos na yung segment na yun. Play yung ad nila, tapos babalik ulit. Tapos pag sa ending, basically the way we end it is, we just tell the people, Uy, maraming salamat sa pag-join sa amin sa episode. And also, kung nagustuhan nyo to, please don't forget to follow Mad in Manila on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcast, and follow our social media. We're on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter at Mad in Manila. Also, 'di ba? Alam mo yung sasabihin mo lahat 'yun.
Mm.
Tapos meron kasi kaming goodbye ni Bullet. So sasabihin talaga namin, bye! Gagano kami, bye! Tapos since RuPaul's Drag Race fans kami, sasabihin talaga namin, oh, krrr, ganon. Tapos end na. Ganon kami! It's
Guys, nilay out na namin yung format. I mean, it's easy pero ano eh, even if there's a format, magkakatalo na lang sa giving value and then yung tinatawag nilang
yes.
personalized or
Personal touch,
signature nyo.
oo. Personal touch
Oo.
mo, diba?
Mm. Kaya huwag kayong
Importante yun.
ma-threaten to start a podcast kasi it doesn't necessarily
Yes.
mean na even if Mad in Manila is comedy with the news, how about me? I can tweak it naman into other way na comedy rin with my personal
Yes.
touch. Doon pa rin siya magkakatalo-talo. And there are
Oo.
7.5 billion audience in the world. So, hindi kayo mawawala ng audience.
Yes. Tsaka ano, huwag kayong ma-pressure na kunyari narinig nyo kami na comedy current affairs kami.
Oo.
That's hindi mo naman talaga personality yon. Ang gusto mo is you want to talk about books that you've read. You want to do I don't know an ASMR something I don't know ASMR na parang si Inka Magnaya yung voice actress.
Hmm.
Ganun yung ano niya topic niya eh. She actually does spoken meditation sa podcast niya. So find your niche, find what you want to talk about. Your own podcast topic should be something that you can talk about continuously. It should be
Hmm.
something na kaya mo talagang i-maintain. Gusto mo mag-sports dahil sports fan ka, go ahead, di ba? Ngayon, maraming talk tungkol sa NBA ngayon. Why not? Di ba? Kaya kami comedy current affairs because we like talking about current events. Bullet and I like to do discussions on politics. We like to talk about world events. You also have
Hmm.
to be very careful if you're going to talk about the news. Alam nyo naman, maraming tumatag-tag dyan.
Basher.
Hindi lang bashers, maraming magta-tag sa inyo na kung ano-ano, anong color of the rainbow, yung tagging sa'yo. Red ba yan? 'Di ba? Kung yung mga taga-community pantry nga natatag, 'di ba? Eh, kami pa na we talk. So we're also very careful about citing our sources and we research. If we mention something about the news, we back it up kung saan namin siya nakuha, sinong nagsulat, kailan sinulat. We do that because that's our brand and we don't want to be red tagged. So you have to be very good
Hmm.
at researching your topic then or preparing.
Okay. So ang huge role talaga ng planning kasi I most likely based from what you have said, parang ano naman, hindi
Mm.
parang, it's not parang, when you really plan something naman, generally in life and especially this podcast, it will flow really well. And ano
Yes.
na lang, there will be just minor improvements late moving forward. Okay, but before that, before
May
going on,
question.
oo nga eh. Pero wait, eto one of my nakalimutan ko. High school teacher, ayan, said, "I'm so
Hello
proud of
po,
you, Miss
ma'am.
Faith. Ang galing topic ko 'to sa gagawin ko research podcasting." Thank you po, Miss Sheena. Thank you po for tuning in. And one of my friends, magpo-podcast na si Faith. Okay, I'll improve my voice. Pero let's see, kasi parang mas feel ko mag-video para nakikita niyo ako.
Maraming mga vloggers ang kunyari itong video
Oo.
na 'to, what they do is they just upload the recording and that's already a podcast. And it could also work. Maraming ganyan. So you don't have to worry about recording a second time. Uh, ang maganda diyan is ano na lang, do you want the same topic on podcasting or do you want it
Oo.
to be different? 'Di ba?
Wag.
So up to you. May ganun. Maraming
Eto
ganun.
na, may question from
Yes.
our very own Nicole Ganot. Okay, sabi ni
Hi,
Madam,
Nikki!
paano po ba magkaroon ng contact deals and do you offer to advertise them?
Yes. So first is initially Mad in Manila was not contracted, nor did we have
Mm.
brand deals. Tapos kami din naman ni Bullet, we were just really doing it for the love of talking. Yun yung una. Pero we were very blessed and lucky because a network approached us. So the Pipe Network, you can follow them on Facebook. It's a network that was started by Filipino podcasters. Sila, mga Pinoy mismo ang nag-start na
Mhm.
may mga major networks kasi dito sa Pinas. So nandun yung mga artista, yung mga may mga podcast ng mga artista nandun sila. We also have networks that would cater to indie podcasts like us. Now, how do you earn or kung gusto mong makuha ka ng network, first is build your podcast. Get the listens out there. Minsan titingnan nila yung stats nyo na gaano na ba karaming nakikinig, nakakailang plays na ba kayo. So, kung hindi masyadong attractive yung numbers nyo, hindi, syempre medyo mahirap. Mahirap kang ma-approach. Pero ang maganda, like Anchor, si Anchor, may option doon na to earn while
Mm.
uploading your content there. So you can actually click on sponsorships. There are just certain requirements. Let's say you should have a US address, parang ganon. Madali lang naman yung gawa ng paraan, guys, kumuha ng US address. Tapos you need to have a PayPal account. Tas when you meet the numbers, pasok yan. What else? There are others like si Podmetrics, meron din sila. Ito yung mga website which we go to check our
Mm.
stats. So pag nakita
Mm.
nila doon na you're earning, lalabas yun na option sa'yo na you can monetize your podcast. Ibig sabihin, may lalabas lang na ads. So kami, yung mga ads namin, talagang kami yung nag insert kung saan siya lalabas. For others, kung automatic, baka at the start or at the end of your podcast, bigla na lang kayo may maririnig. So it differs. But the
Mm.
first thing you need to do is to really build the podcast and how attractive is it to potential advertisers. Yun muna.
Oo.
Yun muna ang
Mm.
kailangan mong i-build. Tapos pag nagustuhan ka nila, sila na mismo magsasabi sa'yo or pwede ka na mag-apply to actually do that. If they see
Hmm,
that your podcast is worth it, kukunin ka nila.
okey. So from the start, ano, parang may mga friends lang kayo na nagpapa-advertise sa inyo? Tas parang
Wala
eventually
talaga dati.
hindi, parang ano
Wala
na lang
talaga.
'pag when it's growing na, ano na,
Yes.
you'll gonna attract na kung sino yung magpapa-advertise sa inyo.
Yes.
Okey.
Nung naging part talaga kami ng network at saka lang naging formal na may mga ads na kami. Pero before talaga wala. Wala naman nag-a-approach dati. People were just tweeting us, messaging us. Pero wala naman talagang dating mga brands. Ngayon, we get questions here and there. Then we talk to our network about it. So iba-iba yun.
So parang YouTube pala ang ano nito, ang
Parang
sort of?
YouTube. Yeah. Kaya lang
Oo.
kasi sa YouTube, when you're enrolled to AdSense, kunyari part ka na ng AdSense, yun
Oo.
yung biglang may lalabas na ad sa'yo. You can decide on your channel kung saan mo gustong lumabas yung ads or how open are you to having ads on your video. Tapos pag napansin na ni YouTube kasi na you're getting 10,000 plays on a video, that's when they really email you or approach you. I don't know kasi hindi ako masyado sa platform na yun.
Oo. Pero with
Yun.
podcast, ano, they will be the ones to approach you. And you have also, sila din ba yung magsasabi kung saan mo ilalagay yung ads nila or
May ano lang, may rules lang. Katulad nung sa amin, sa network, sasabihin nila, itong ad 1 dapat nasa first 20 minutes. Ad 2
Mm.
dapat nasa first 40. You cannot put an ad at the end of the episode unless your episode is only 10 minutes long. Ganon. May
Okay.
mga
So,
rules
yun
na
yung
ganon.
ruling.
Yes.
Mm. So,
Pero
at least okay. So, sa podcast may ruling sa time. Sa time naman siya
yes,
nagma-matter. Okay.
yes.
As in connection with that, siyempre ads, siyempre naiisip na ng mga tao, kaching, kaching. So,
Mm-mm.
how can a podcast be monetized? So, I mean, one of the things ba yon yung tinanong ni Miss ano ni Nicole? Isa rin
Yes.
yun sa factor. And ano, how? Can you give me more answers on
Yes.
this?
So, yung una na mention natin is when you apply for monetization on the platform that you upload your podcast recording to. Like Anchor, meron yan.
Mm,
The other
mm,
one is, let's say, you have a deal with your network upfront. Join our network. Make sure that you're exclusive to us. And then we'll pay you X number, depende sa usapan nyo. 'Di ba? Others would be, how else can you earn money? Let's say, nabubook ka na for guestings. May gano'n, kinukuha
oo.
ka ng speak at this ganito, tapos bibigyan ka ng pera. That's something that I experience, sometimes na invite ka, tapos bibigyan ka ng certain fee, puwede rin 'yun. Again, imagine DJs, imagine radio DJs. 'Di ba sila, hindi mo lang sila naririnig sa radyo, minsan magugulat ka, "Uy, host na pala siya ng event niyo sa company." May gano'n, 'di ba? Na nangyayari sa atin lagi na yung mga DJs nagiging ano sila, nagiging host sila. What else? You also have to create other content that could possibly be monetized, 'di ba? Look at people like James Deacon, 'di ba? Na sobrang
James
sikat.
Deacon. Yeah.
Yes, he started out as a radio DJ, then started hosting, then took on brands and gano'n. Gano'n din sa podcasting. You just have to work a bit harder at it because again, hindi pa siya super big sa Pilipinas. Known na siya,
Mm,
pero sobrang daming Pinoy 'pag sinabi mo, "Uy, puwede kang makinig ng podcast sa Spotify." Sasabihin nila, "Ano 'yun?" 'Di ba?
mm,
Lalo na ang Spotify may premium, may free, 'di
mm.
ba? So, dun yung
Yeah.
challenge.
Mm. So, yung podcast namo-monetize siya, with the ads and aside from the ads, actually ano na rin, the talent of the podcaster itself. Kasi 'di ba
Yes,
sabi mo,
you have
aside
content.
let's say, oo, The Mad in Manila, let's say, parang you're on that show. Pero eventually 'pag naririnig nila na you're very good on that, host ka na let's say ng isang event, 'di ba?
Puwede
So
rin. Not
it
saying that these
offers a
are
lot.
the arrangements that we have, not saying that these are the arrangements that
Oo,
Madden
oo.
has. I'm just
Yeah,
talking about the different ways that
yeah.
your podcast can be monetized. Ayun. We're not allowed to divulge. Kung syempre may kontrata kami, di ba? Kung paano kami na monetize. Pero yes, that's one of the things. What else? You sell something related to your content. Merch, di ba? Pag yung mga vloggers na gusto nyo may merch, di ba bili
So
kayo?
may merch na ba kayo?
And speaking of merch, may merch din ang Mad Manila. Launching very soon. So we have a few items. That's one of the things that we really wanted to launch nung medyo the ball was rolling na and we have fans,
Wow.
listeners, and people that really listen. We wanted them to have a piece of us essentially kasi kami gumagawa ng content ng design. So ayun, so masaya siya. That's also one way to earn. Yeah.
Wow,
Well,
ang dami-dami pala.
well,
So, before earning
oo.
and everything, ang masasabi ko lang with what Marga said, kailangan talaga ano ka, bibo ka or let's say ano, dito ito na talaga yung asset mo talaga yung sarili mo with podcast kasi they can't see you, but they
Yes,
can hear you. So,
yes.
yun na yung labanan dito. So, there's another question here from Lawrence Gonzalez.
Hi, Laurie.
So is it a requirement for podcaster to be always bubbly, energetic, or extroverted?
Hindi naman. Hindi. Again, it depends on what your content is. Kami ni
Mm-hmm.
Bullet, naturally, ganito kami. Kilala mo ako, Faith, di ba? Maingay talaga ako. So, natural yun sa akin. Um, depende talaga siya sa content mo. Let's say you're talking about ghost stories, hindi naman pwedeng super bubbly yung boses mo. So it really differs. You make your abilities, your content work in your style.
Mm.
And I think the most is you have to be energetic. Kasi energetic doesn't always mean yung tono na
Yep.
exciting yung boses mo. Pero dapat may passion laging delivery mo. Yun.
Mm.
Hindi pwede yung parang tunog bagong gising ka. Hindi, may effort yon. Di ba? Ay,
Kung part ba ng show mo yung bagong gising ka, bakit hindi, 'di ba?
oo. Grabe
Mm.
naman yung mga friends natin na nagchat-chat.
Ang dami mong fans, hindi ka ako na-inform. So there's Lexi, Blessy, grabe. Ayan, thank you so much teammates for watching. We do appreciate.
Yes.
So guys, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask Marga. Even if we're live and you're watching on replay, your questions are welcome here.
Yes.
So I mean, I really learned a lot, and podcasting I hope is something that you would really explore. And
Mhm.
but before that, any final words, what keeps you busy nowadays, Marga?
Besides yung totoo nating source of money na tinatrabaho, di ba? Ang maganda naman sa trabaho natin is it's pretty flexible. Besides that, so Mad in Manila, so please, kung kayo po ay first time ako nakilala, I hope you give us a listen. Follow Mad in Manila on Spotify, Google Podcast, and Apple Podcast. Dito rin sa Facebook, nandito rin kami. Sa Instagram, Twitter, at Mad in Manila. I-follow nyo na din ang Facebook group Kanto ng Kaming. Pinalag ko na talaga lahat, Faith.
Go.
Follow nyo kami para din kung gusto nyo pa magtanong, gusto nyo kaming machika, gusto nyo maging part ng kanto at magsagot-sagot din ng mga questions namin, please do so. And also may bago akong venture. We have a talk show slash food review YouTube. It's called Pasty Tita, so please check it out. Also follow the Smart Millennial. Yun naman yung totoo kong source of income. So follow nyo na yun. Marami talaga akong ginagawa, guys. Ganun talaga. Also, final words is, wag kayong matakot. A lot of the things I told you na sinabi ko na it's not for everyone. It's true. It's not for everyone. But if it's something that you want to pursue, and if you are willing to learn, to accept feedback, what else? You're willing to learn from other people and to even explore more, go ahead, do the podcast. Just make sure to plan. Hindi siya basta hindi yan mani-mani lang. Make sure that you plan it well and make sure that you do it justice. If you're going to put content out into the world, make sure it's content that you would be proud of. Yun yung pinaka-importante. And also get your friends and family to support you. Kasi pag sinusuportahan ka nila, masaya din yun. Pero kung hindi, join the community. The podcasting community is very welcoming. So again, follow nyo Podcast PH. They're here on Facebook and Pipe Network. Follow nyo lang yon so that you could also see what we do in our network. And just do it. Message nyo din kami. So, sama din Manila, message nyo lang ako. Go lang, sasagutin natin yan.
Thank you so much, Marga. Para may one, eto na, since we still have a bit time, may pahuling question si Blessy.
Sure.
So, kailangan magaling mag-English pag nag-podcast?
Hindi naman. Pero kung mag-English ka, sa amin naman sa Madin Manila, Taglish kami. Pero minsan kasi may mga nakikinig sa amin na nasa ibang bansa. Mga OFWs naman mostly, pero let's say mga partners nila, mga asawa nila, mga foreigner. So minsan naman nakakasabay sila dahil malakas din kami mag-English. It's not about the language, guys. It's about your delivery. So, okay lang magkamali minsan sa grammar, pero kung tuloy-tuloy na talaga at feeling mong mabubwisit sa'yo yung mga tao, let's talk in the language that we're most comfortable with. Guys, alam niyo ba, may mga podcast na Bisaya, meron sa
Oh.
si Langga Speaks. So, sila
Mm.
ay, kung ano yung language nila, yun ang gamit nila. And they're also one of the top podcasts in the Philippines. Walang problema sa lengguwahe. Ang importante is, komportable kang mag-communicate dun. At kayang-kaya mo siya.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Marga. I hope
Sure.
our fam, okay, that's how I call the viewers, fam learned from you. Okay, now we're about to end this live with Faith and Harmony. Um Podcasting 101, how to start a podcast. This is another platform. The podcasting is another platform that you can explore whenever you want to share your ideas, nahihiya kayo sa camera, you just want it to voice out. So hindi nyo na talaga kailangan maging radio DJ to do that. So podcasting is here. I hope you can watch the entire episode if you would love to dig in and learn more on that. And from what I got from Marga, ang dami. And it will always be something na if you want to start something, you have to make sure na you're giving value. You know also your audience, kung kanino mo binibigay yung value. Para clear, 'di ba? You're clear kung saan ka, kung where are you heading to, kung ano yung content na ilalabas mo. And especially, guys, podcasting, you're not being seen here, but um, I realize na napaka-importante na you have to take care of your voice. And yeah, and make yourself grow, I mean in terms of grow in I mean gain more knowledge para marami ka ring share sa I mean target audience mo. I hope you will learn something from this. If you do, please follow Faith and Harmony on Facebook, on Instagram and TikTok, and soon fam will be going on YouTube na. I'll be uploading the interviews on YouTube. And also, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to message Faith and Harmony and also me. I'll be glad, and also Marga will be glad to answer all of your questions. Okay, this has been your host for today, Faith. I hope please stay safe. I hope you're all safe. Okay, stay at home and take care. Bye.